And the biggest thing that I learned is you have to stay in the system. And it could be daunting for like an early instructor, someone that's teaching band for the first time, someone that's in that contractor position. But you have to find someone that knows how to manage money. Don't expect you're going to know how to do tax law right away. And because you just don't. And there's always this misconception that like as a young struggling artist or teacher or whatever that you do, you don't get a money manager or you don't get a financial advisor until you made it. Once you made it, then you get a financial advisor, because they got to tell me what to do with all the money that I have. You need it when you don't have any money. That's when you need a financial advisor. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're rich, like who cares? You'll figure it out, like hopefully. But when you're younger, that's when you need that. So that's a hard sell for a lot of people. That's a really hard sell to like, maybe it's going to cost me a couple bucks, but I'll tell you a trick of doing that doesn't cost you any money. And that's bartering. And that's something that I learned how to do really early on. Like in that time, I had no insurance. I had no health insurance. So I remember having to get like dental work done. I had to get new glasses and go to the doctor, but I didn't have health insurance. And that would cost me thousands of dollars. So I found the doctor that had a kid that played trombone in band that needed lessons. So I was like, hey, I'll give Johnny lessons if you take care of my glasses. So I was like, all right, we worked out a deal and literally signed a contract. Like, hey, I'm going to teach 10 lessons and that's going to equal the amount of your services. And I found those people, and I still do that stuff to this day, and more within my own industry now. But that was a great way to get started. So if anybody is like kind of starting off in that position where you're unsure of how to manage your money, because there's things that you need to do. You get a check for $500. You don't own that $500 if it's a 1099 thing. You have to pay your taxes. You have to pay quarterly. And if you get behind on those things, and tax is a whole nother thing. Like there's two inevitable things in life, and that's taxes and death. And if you're uncomfortable with both of those, you're going to live in anxiety for the rest of your life. So you have to figure out how to get comfortable with it and get in the system. I always have this conversation with my dad, because we went through this, and he's been a great influence and help over the years. And we always say, like, it's a shame when you see people fall out of the system. And that's how people end up homeless. People end up in these real dire situations because of little small decisions over time that compound. And if you just have to stay on top of those little small things to stay in the system, to stay current with whether you like it or not, you have to do it if you want to be successful and just be able to maintain yourself. And I think any young instructor, in the marching arts, that's the biggest thing, that you all get paid. None of you are employees. Nobody's paying for your health insurance. Nobody's got money for that stuff. You gotta find that person to help you, or barter to get those people to help you out, because if not, you can end up in a really, rough situation. And mine maybe is not the norm, but I know there's also a lot of people out there that are too afraid to say these bad things that have happened to them, but it's happened. Like, they've been in bad situations, aren't going to talk about how their license was suspended or all these different things, but it happens all over the place. There's a lot of people that teach band that drive looking in the rearview mirror, making sure there's not a cop behind them checking their tag, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I'm just saying, it's nothing that has to do with band, but it just has to do with how you get paid, and they're not taking taxes out, they're not taking that Social Security out and things like that, and learning how that works. I wish I learned that in school. If they taught it, maybe they did teach it. I just wasn't paying attention.
You were thinking about drum corps.
Yeah, I was too in the other direction.
Yeah.
But I had to learn it the hard way, and now that I know it, it's my life. I feel like I can breathe now. It's like I have this weight off my chest, and that if you have that weight on your chest, like, just get it off as soon as you can, because that stress is not good for you, man. It lose your hair and like get gray in the beard and stuff. You know what I'm saying?